Hello and welcome to the Sports Social Club with Alex and Jess. I'm Jess.
I'm Alex.
And today we got some fun stuff to talk about. We got, exciting enough today. We got the women's championship for NCAA. So, who you
Yes,
got winning today?
So we got South Carolina versus UConn. My bracket tells me South Carolina, and I want to believe in them, but after seeing UConn kind of like dominate against UCLA, I'm like, I don't know. I think it could go either way. I think it'll be probably a really good game
Yeah.
to watch. So I'll definitely be tuning in. I'm rooting for South Carolina, but I have no ties to either one, so
Yeah.
it's not like I'd be upset if one of them wins over the other. But if I want my bracket right, then I need South Carolina to
I'm
win.
the same way. South Carolina needs to win for our brackets. But I do
Yes.
love I love Paige on UConn. The Wings are actually going to draft her. Hallelujah! Thank God, we'll
Yeah.
get a good team. But yeah, no. So it like you said, it could go either way. I think depth in South Carolina goes much further.
Hmm.
And they have all those All Americans, the McDonald's
Yeah.
All Americans they always talk about. But yeah, no, it could go either way. So this will be an
Yeah.
exciting game.
But Paige Becker scored what, 40 points
Yeah.
the other day?
Yeah.
So, I
She's
mean,
she's a tits. She's
she
so
can go
good.
off.
Yeah, it looks like the spread right now is 7.5 UConn.
Interesting.
So this will be fun.
Yeah.
It's anyone's game, that's for sure.
And UConn, between the men and the women's tournament, is the only non-one seed to be in their Final Four. UConn was a
Wow.
2 seed. Yeah.
Wow.
Which Cody was watching the game more than I was. I think I was working or something when the game was going on. The UConn UCLA.
Mhm.
And he's like, how is UConn not a 1 seed?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they're like destroying UCLA. And I was like, well, there can only be so many 1 seeds.
Yep,
So,
exactly. Exactly.
yeah. And then did you watch the men's games yesterday?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The Florida Auburn game was, I would think I was watching more of that one than the Houston Duke game, but I was watching it and it was, kind of back and forth, and then it was getting towards the end and I'm watching it and Florida, starts to take their lead and coach's like, "Oh, there's still time." I'm like, "No. Auburn blew it. Like
Mhm.
they're not coming back from this." You could just tell, like, when you're watching it, it's like they've lost their momentum.
Yep.
Florida has it. Things just aren't going Auburn's way. It's like one of their best guys gets to the free throw line and it was horrible.
Mhm.
Like, missed them both with, I think it was like less than a minute left in the game. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you can't miss both of your free throws when you're this close in the game that's going to send you to the national championship. Especially, I think it was like one of the best players on the team.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, no. Seeing that, it's gone. They're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, no. And Auburn, I mean, they have looked so great all season, but towards the end of the season, you could tell like there was starting to become a playbook for how to beat them. Like they were beatable. They had their flaws showing. All they have is the big man down front. So it's kind of
I wonder, looking at who the top seed is overall going into the tournament, into March Madness, how often that top seed actually wins.
yep.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty often that they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there was those times, especially in the women's tournament, when like UConn was just like a powerhouse and just winning year after year after year and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like the men haven't necessarily had that, where it's like, hey, here's your 1 seed that was playing amazing all season, and then they win the
Yeah.
national championship. So,
No, definitely. I think the last
yeah.
one to do it was UNC like 3 years ago.
Mm.
And that's so true though. In men's, it's anyone's game towards the end. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It'll be excited to see. But the Houston game was insane. Houston Duke. Oh my God.
Hmm.
And everyone had Duke winning. I had
I
Houston.
didn't. I had Houston.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, no, I was watching it. Like, I wasn't watching the game actively, but I was like, oh, I'm keeping up with it on my phone. And I'm like, we'll turn it on, like, if it's getting really close towards the end. And at halftime, Duke was up by like 10 or 15, something like that. And I'm like, oh no, like Houston's going to blow it. And then I keep watching, like checking in every once in a while. And I'm like, oh, I was like, at one point, I was like, oh, Houston brought it within 4. And then I checked it like 30 seconds later, and Duke was up 9 or 10. And this is when we're getting close to like that 2 minute mark or whatever, and then I keep watching, and it was like 30 seconds, and I was like, Houston's up, and I was like, we gotta turn it on.
Yeah.
And so we turned it on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
But how crazy it was for those last like 30 seconds or so.
Yes.
When Houston went on that huge run.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, no,
very
it was
happy for them.
crazy. So before the game, leading up to it, it was Duke had a 70% chance to win. It was like 73% chance to win. And I was like, everyone's putting all of their eggs in the basket because of like Cooper Flag.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other guys on there that are, big names, but like mainly him. And I'm like, you're putting all this on a freshman. This
Yeah.
is a guy who's never been here. Houston, they're so experienced. I love their coach, Kelvin Sampson. He's amazing. And but they're all been in here. They all have a certain culture. It's not a one man mentality. It's all of them, and they're all like seniors and juniors,
Yeah.
and they don't take from the portal really. Like they want to grow in that. So no, I'm so glad, and I really think Houston has a chance to beat Florida now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw the other day, I don't remember if we talked about this previously or not, but I saw this little story stat thing where in the off season, Houston as a team averaged a 5 minute 19-second mile
oh my god,
as a team. So that's like point guards to bigs average
That's
5:19 mile
insane.
in the off season. I'm like, that's some solid conditioning right there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's coming into play with how
That's
well they're finishing out these games,
Yeah,
you know?
especially for big guys. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Put that average in because you would assume like guards are going to be much faster.
Right.
But like for a big guy, oof,
Yeah.
Lord.
That's moving a big body real fast.
Yeah, that's amazing. But that's the Big 12 basketball. That's
Yeah.
we're built that way.
And I saw someone talking about this the other day. You know, Houston just came into the Big 12 a couple years ago, and then they go and they win the Big 12, and now they're out here potentially winning a national championship. So it's always cool to see those teams that, you know, get to move into these big power conferences and really make a name for themselves. So
And that's the whole
given-
reason why we wanted them was for
Mhm. It's
basketball.
like give these teams a chance. You know, they're showing out in their smaller conferences, and they just need a little bit more of like the opportunity to play these bigger teams, more resources, more money, and then see what they can do.
Yep.
And obviously, Houston took advantage of that.
Hell yeah. Let's go Houston. It looks like so far for Florida Houston tomorrow night. So Monday night at 7:50 p.m. Good God. The spread is Florida by 1.5. So it's anyone's game at this point.
I'm surprised it's almost an 8 o'clock start. Like it's in San Antonio, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Which is basically a home game for Houston.
Yes, which it sets up Houston perfectly. But 7:50 at night, y'all. I don't know what the NCAA is doing to us, but I'm telling you, you got people in New York and in the East Coast where basketball's so prevalent. This is almost 9 o'clock for them.
On a Monday.
On a Monday, who's staying up for this? This game also needs to be on a Sunday night, and it needs to
Right.
be at a nice 7 o'clock or maybe even 6 o'clock. But 7
Right.
that way, it's 5 for y'all. Like 8 for
8.
East Coast, 7 here. No, the 7:50. I'll be in bed at halftime.
But at least for the women's game, we got noon today for us.
2, I'm all
o'clock.
about it. I can go run errands, come back. I'll be good.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm interested to see, you know, the stat that comes out afterwards, like how many millions of people tuned in
Yeah.
for each game. And it's
Yeah.
like, do you take into consideration that one is at like the afternoon on a Sunday and one is at nighttime on a Monday?
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure during COVID, when they were having the tournaments, like it was right after COVID. It was like 2 years into COVID. So we were still in COVID. But I'm pretty sure one of the championships was at like 8:30 here because I remember it being such a big deal because they had like one of the lowest like viewership of all time. And I think that's when they bounced it back a little bit to 7:50, like into this time range. But I'm pretty sure it was like 8:30 because I was like, how are we staying up for this? This is not happening. So oh God, y'all. Whew,
Yeah,
come on.
it's a lot.
But yeah, so this exciting next 2 days of basketball, and then it's over.
For sure. Yep, darn. And then moving on to bigger and better things like professional playoffs.
Yes.
So speaking of professional, well, yeah, we'll talk about it. Hockey, in the world of hockey, switching from basketball to hockey. Staying with college, right now we are in the men's NCAA Frozen Four
Yes.
for ice hockey. We've got 4 teams. it's Denver, Western Michigan, Penn State, and Boston University. And of those teams, I think Denver has the most championships, like, in history of NCAA men's ice hockey. And then Boston University is another team that has one. And I think Penn State and Western Michigan have never won. And
I was wondering,
potentially
Penn State sounds so like they've never been there.
Yeah, I don't think they have. They've never won. They potentially have never been in the Frozen Four. Two of the games to come into the Frozen Four, the Boston University game and the Penn State game, both of them won in overtime to get into the Frozen Four. Wow. So that's pretty exciting for them. And then Denver and Western Michigan, they didn't have to go into overtime. But those games, both of those games are going to be on Thursday, and then championship game is going to be on Saturday. So
awesome.
Interesting to see who wins those. Maybe we'll get, a new champion, because you have the way that the bracket is set up is it's Denver, Western Michigan, and Penn State, Boston University. So you could have a Denver Boston, which would be like your traditional, like, this is what we expected, or you could have like a Western Michigan Penn State,
that'd
which
be
like
insane.
either way new champion. So
yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting stuff. Where is it?
It was somewhere really lame. Oh, hold on. Let me look it up real quick.
Somewhere
like
cold,
St. Louis,
or
like St. Louis or something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
No, it was kind of lame.
What the heck?
I know.
I figured they'd want to go somewhere fun like Michigan or New York or.
You would think. Yeah. Yes, the Enterprise Center, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gross.
Thrilling.
Everyone's dream vacation.
Yeah. See, here are the towns that the previous games were played. It was Manchester, New Hampshire, Fargo, North Dakota, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Toledo, Ohio.
They played in Fargo? Like at the Fargo Dome? Like the fun, like indoor?
It says Shields Arena, whatever
That's
that is.
exciting. Oh my God. Yeah. Fun.
So that's where
that'd be so much better. I'd rather go to Fargo than go to St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri. I'm assuming this is where the Blues play.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Exciting stuff.
So that's going on. Pretty cool. Also in hockey news, Alexander Ovechkin has officially tied Wayne Gretzky's record of number of career goals. He did it in one less game.
Yep.
What was it? 894?
Yes.
Is the goals?
Yeah.
894. And he scored it. It was not yesterday, day before, on Friday night. Scored it. Obviously, like, this has been huge news. Wayne Gretzky was there. Mm-hmm. So that was really awesome. And then, Ovechkin had the opportunity, if he wanted to break it on like an empty net goal. I think they pulled the goalie at the end and he's like, no. I want to earn it. I'm not just going to take this freebie goal, which I think is great. Mm-hmm. When you're breaking a huge milestone like that.
Yes.
You don't want to just like
an
take
easy
the easy way out.
Exactly. Yeah, it gave a chance for Leonard Riley to go score his first NHL goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
which
that's
is awesome. Which, speaking of that, I was talking to Cody about this the other day. I love seeing when college hockey, when their season ends and they immediately get to sign a contract and then are playing in the NHL like the next day. Because that's what happened. That's what happened for this guy. I know there was a couple others as well. But it's like they're in the NCAA hockey playoffs. Their team lost. And it's like, oh, dang, that sucks. Next day, you see them signing their contract with the Washington Capitals and then on the ice for their next
getting
game.
to play with one of the greatest of all time.
I was like, that's so cool. and I feel like, you don't get that with other sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, because, they get drafted years before. You might see them get drafted out of high school, get drafted out of juniors, and they just kind of like defer their selection essentially. Mm-hmm. Like this guy probably got drafted by the Caps 3 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, like, thanks. They're gonna hold his spot for him, like they've drafted him, they like own his rights or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he's like, I want to keep playing college hockey, and so he gets to keep playing, and then the moment he's done, sign that contract, boom,
get in
now
there.
You're a professional NHL player.
It's pretty amazing because even other sports like baseball, who has a draft like relatively the same, but you can also like you can still play in college and then come back out and go. But like they don't even do that. Like this is so it's so fun to see.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I feel like more with baseball, you see them be like, yeah, we want you, but you're actually going down to like the minor league, like
Way
3
down.
levels below us.
Yeah, going to single A.
Yeah, like it might not even be in America. So, but yeah, so super cool. I love when they do that.
Yeah.
And then, with Ovechkin's, he's playing now. I think the game just started.
Yeah.
Game just started.
It's the Islanders.
Yep. So he could break the record any minute now.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that. So at like 7:30 Eastern on Friday, like before he had broken the record, it was like, oh, here's ticket prices for the game against the Islanders. And then 3 hours later, after it was broken, they skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I like the cheapest ticket I saw yesterday when I looked was like $300 something, and that's like top nosebleed. But I saw like 3 tickets on the glass, $6,500.
Oh my
for
God.
this game, and just think like, and it's at the Islanders, like it's not even in DC. Like it's not a home game for the Caps. This is on the road.
Could you imagine? What if you paid that and then he doesn't get it, or watch him get injured and not even come near getting like.
Right.
Oh my God. And you have to go to Long Island.
Do they even play on Long Island, or do they play in Jersey?
I thought they played Long Island.
Do they?
Yeah, but anyway,
like,
no matter what, you're having to watch the Islanders pay for that much money? Hell no.
Yeah, it's like you're paying $6,500 to hopefully see like this crazy record be broken. But why not?
Yeah.
Also, I guess this is like one of the only goalies that Ovechkin hasn't scored against.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. Yeah. So he's got to score against him.
Got to score.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
exciting.
So that's crazy. And then we only have a few more games left, like 5 or 6 games left, and then playoffs will start.
Yep.
So I'm really hoping right now the Stars are the 2 seed in the Central. So right now it's a Stars-Avs matchup for first round. But if the Stars can just keep winning and maybe the Jets don't, then they could jump to the 1 spot and then we wouldn't have to play the Avs. We'd get the 4 seed instead of the 2-3 seed.
Yeah, so. I would much rather not play the Avs. I hate playing the Avs.
I know.
Oh my God.
I guess there's like more and more chance of Gabriel Landeskog coming back.
Crazy.
I guess he was with like their minor league team the other day. He wasn't playing, but he was at least like, I think he was suited up. He was like practicing and stuff like that. And their minor league team had like tweeted out something about like tonight and then like the eyes emoji, like looking. Yeah. And so everybody was freaking out thinking that he was going to play with the minor league team. And then they had to come back out and they were like, Gabriel Landeskog is not playing with us tonight. And they're like, why would you? What was that tweet about then?
They were about to get so many people going.
Yes. About to sell out that minor league arena.
For real. Yeah, no, this would be legendary. For anyone that doesn't know, Gabriel Landeskog has not played in 3 years. He's the captain of the Avs. Mm-hmm. He's like, his injuries have been insane. He can't recover from like it. Wasn't it originally like an ACL tear or something?
No. He got his quad cut by a skate, and they were originally just thinking, oh, okay, like this sucks, like bad cut, stitch it up, whatever. And I think he like went back in after that happened, or at least shortly after. He won the cup with them in 2022. And then hasn't really played with them since, just because I guess like he tried to keep playing on it. It was getting worse. And then there's other stuff that was going on, which he has like described some of, but I still really don't understand the full like extent of what is going on with his knee. I know he's had to have like multiple surgeries of going in and like trying to like fix things, whether it's like cartilage related, like he was saying something about how like they have to do this thing where it's like a cartilage like transplant and like opening up space within his joint. And like he's done podcast interviews about it. He has like a HBO Max special thing where they like followed him around and were interviewing him and kind of seeing how his like surgery and recovery stuff are coming on. So I want to watch that, see if that like helps give more context and stuff. But it's been a long road back for him, but he is like determined to come back into play. And he's even said people are always like, you can retire, like you've made enough money, you don't need to come back in. And he's like, no, like I really want to. I want to show like to my family, to my kids that you can push through these hard things and come back and not give up and all that kind of stuff. So
It's amazing.
He's looking good, so we'll see what happens. I'm sure he's just gonna make a lovely surprise and come back first round of
For
playoffs
real.
against the Stars
And destroy us.
It's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna destroy us. Oh,
I'm like, I want him to come back, but I don't want it to be against the Stars.
No, I want him. No, if he comes back, like, can we be ahead like so far, and like maybe he comes back for a chance and they still don't win? It's not
Right.
No,
Like, oh, sorry, man.
he'll come back and beat us. Oh,
Other than that, did you watch the F1 race?
I
last night?
did. Yes. So the F1
did
race
not.
was in Japan. I stayed up. Well, okay. So I stayed up until lap 40, and then I was out. And there was 53 laps. And
Yeah.
but
So you did pretty good.
yeah, and it was boring. Oh my god, it
Yeah,
was so boring.
I didn't watch. Because it was like 10 o'clock here was the start time, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to bed. And Cody was like, oh yeah, I'll. He's like, I'm just gonna lay in bed and watch it on my phone. I was like, sure, whatever, I don't care. And so then this morning I woke up and I was like, oh, like, did you watch your race, whatever? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I fell asleep for part of it, but then I woke back up and nothing had changed. So he was like, everything exciting happened in like the first 4 laps,
Yep.
and then pretty much everybody stayed in their same position.
Yes, the whole time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was not exciting. I mean, it was, and even the announcers were like, "Yeah, so this has been a pretty boring race, but," and there was like one pit stop that was exciting, and because
Oh my
Lando
gosh.
like drove off into the grass and blamed Max, and Max is like he would took the line, and so it was like a whole thing. But that was literally one part, and other than that, nothing changed at
Nothing.
all. Max Verstappen won. And
Classic.
then Norris and Piastri. So
How did Yuki Tsunoda do with replacing Liam Lawson?
so
Was
bad.
he
He got 13th. 13th. And so Isaac Hadjar, he's the other driver he's for Racing Bulls, and I want them to put him in there into Red Bull because he's so much better. He got 8th with Racing Bulls, which is like the car is so much worse, which for Red Bull anyways it's a bad car. But then
Yeah.
go underneath that and he's getting in the points when Yuki couldn't even do that in a Red Bull. So it's just a whole it's bad.
Dang.
Yuki, I'm not a fan of Yuki, but you know, he's immature.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we'll see how he does for the next few races.
yeah. Where's the next race? Do you know?
No. It's week by week for me. I look at it and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, where are we in the world this time? Where am I going to lose sleep?
Let's see. I'll try to look it up real fast. F1. We've got moving on. Oh, Gulf Air Bahrain.
Ooh, Bahrain.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna be able to watch.
What time is it?
It's gonna be at 10 a.m. your time.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
We've got qualifying Saturday at 9 a.m., the race Sunday at 8 a.m. here. So
Perfect.
10 a.m. for you.
Heck yeah. I love it.
Wow.
I love
So
it.
great.
Wow.
And then, yeah, we've got 2 more international races, and then we come to Miami before
Yes.
we go international again.
Yeah. I love the Miami
Exciting
one.
stuff. Other things happening within sports. This weekend was the first weekend of Grand Slam Track, which is like the new professional track and field league led by Michael Johnson. They were in Jamaica for this first one. I have not been paying attention to it much at all. It's like they're all 3-day meets, which I feel like is really long.
Yeah.
Really dragging it out. And there was talks of being like, how are you going to fill a stadium for 3 days?
Yeah.
Especially at these like random locations. Oh my God, I just almost fell on my chair. And I saw a picture. It was like the stadium was not full, like
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
But whatever. But I think they're making a lot of money, like the athletes are.
Yeah.
There was like I really don't understand fully how the whole system works, because I saw something about like, you know, for certain events they're like getting points, and then you're like getting paid based off points, but it's like different categories. Because like, example, this one guy, he won the 100 and the 200. So he got like 12 points each for that. So he got 24 points, and then because he won the 100 and the 200, he won like the short sprint something. So like the short sprints of being the 100 and the 200. Like, because he won both, he got some extra bonus. He got like $100,000.
Wow.
Which I'm like, shout out to him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's cool that they're getting all this money. I've not been paying attention at all. All I did see was in the women's 800, the people who came in top 3 are technically all people who typically run the 1500, and the person who normally runs the 800 got last.
Oh.
So that was pretty interesting, pretty fun. But other than that, I've not been paying attention.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have to look into that, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe when they have like a one that's like in the US or something, because I'm sure I don't even know how it's broadcasted. I'm sure it's on something stupid like Flow Track.
Probably.
And that's like Cody and I were talking the other day. You have all of these, you know, sports that if they're not on like a major network, they get put on like Flow Track, Flow Wrestling, Flow whatever.
Yep.
And they're all individual payments.
Yep.
Like, you're not just getting like access to the Flow network. Like, you have to pay for each sport individually. And like he was looking something up for I don't remember what sport it was, but it was like $30 a month for that one sport. I'm like, who's paying
That's
that?
insane. Parents.
I'm like, absolute. No, and that's what I said. I was like, the only way I would pay $30 a month for some random Flow whatever is if like my spouse or my child or something like that is like on a team, and that is the only way I can watch them play.
Yeah.
I'm like, other than that, ain't no way.
Heck no. Oh my God, that's insane. That's so much money.
I know. And I'm like, that's for one network.
That's crazy. They need to make it just Flow in general.
Right.
Like, and then in charge like, I don't know, $100 a year or something. Like, make it something else. Like, that's crazy.
It's $150 for a year for Flow whatever.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
I know.
Heck no. It's terrible business.
Yeah, I don't know how they're making any money. Nobody's buying
I think I watched high school football on one of them one time, and I got like a trial, and I think it was because I was watching Plato East football or something. So I get in depth into high school football, and I was watching it, and it was like the trial. I think once the trial was up, it was going to be like $15, but the quality's terrible because you're using their video camera, and then it's like the rest. I mean, it's just not worth it. Not worth it.
No, it's not good.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah.
I hope the Islanders score.
Oh,
There you go.
It's not Ovi.
Yep.
You got anything else big in sports?
Nothing big other than Oklahoma City Thunder. They won 64 games, which is the most in a regular season to this point of the year, and so big time. So we're on track to win it all this year. And it's kind of they're in the same timeline as hockey, so the playoffs will be starting soon, which is nice. Because they're
Who are they projected to be going against first round? Do you know?
I don't know, because it changes so often for basketball at the end. Like, there's so many close by, so I don't know. It could be anyone's game at this point. I know that oh God, who was it that was coming in? Detroit was coming in on the east side of things. Was making it. Cade Cunningham was going to make the playoffs for the first time. But other than that, no, I don't know yet. We'll be able to find out more in the next week or two.
Gotcha. That's pretty exciting.
Yep. Other than that, nope.
I feel like that's all I got.
Yep. But yeah, no. Next week at least we'll be able to talk more about who won the basketball games, and then we'll dive more into hockey and basketball, professional basketball, as it gets closer to playoffs.
Yep. Should be good.
Heck yeah. Alrighty. Well, if y'all have any suggestions or comments or anything y'all want us to talk about, please leave a comment and reach out to us if you have anything. If you have a favorite team you want us to talk about, and if we like them, we'll talk about them. If not, no, I'm just kidding. If you like them, we'll talk about them. But yeah,
we'll do our best.
We'll do our best. But yeah, so thank y'all for listening. And this was the Sports Social Club with Alex and Jess.
See ya.
Bye.